The talks come as a 2-week ceasefire hangs on by a thread. Israel and Hezbollah continue trading fire in Lebanon, and Tehran maintains control of the Strait of Hormuz. Ukraine's president says his country played a key role in the Iran war, shooting down Iranian-designed drones in a number of Mideast countries, drones of the same kind that Russia has unleashed on Ukraine. Melania Trump says she's been the victim of a smear campaign trying to link her to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The First Lady says she had no connection whatsoever to Epstein or his criminal activities. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures narrowly mixed. The Dow futures down 1 point. NASDAQ futures up 34. More details, srnnews.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $8 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Got your tax refund? Don't blow it. Upgrade it at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get into a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $7,000 in rebates or 2.9% for 48 months. Or into a 26 GMC Sierra 2500 $1,000 rebate or 4.9% for 48 months. And the 26 GMC Acadia 2.9% APR plus $750 in rebates with GM Financial. Your refund won't last, but a new GMC will. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland or visit hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Today there may be some patchy morning fog, and cloud cover looks to hold through the day with much cooler temperatures. Highs will be in the upper 40s and low 50s with an east-southeasterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Any rain showers will likely hold off until evening and the early morning hours. Overnight in areas south of Highway 40 and east of Highway 83. Skies will remain cloudy with lows in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, flow will return to south-southwest, increasing 15 to 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 to 55. And under a mix of sun and clouds, highs will reach into the mid-70s, and fire weather conditions will be elevated due to the lack of moisture. There are some scattered shower and storm chances in the evening and overnight with lows in the upper 40s. Sunday and Monday will be windy and warm with highs in the 80s. South-southwesterly winds 20 to 30, gusting to 45 miles per hour. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
The black and gold are back, and you can catch the Goodland Cowboys and Cowgirls all season long on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Join Ross Volkmer for every thrilling play, big moment, and unforgettable highlight.
Open three. Good. Great ball movement from the Cowgirls there.
From the first pitch to the final horn, we've got you covered, no matter where you are. Goodland High School Athletics on Rocket 102.5 are brought to you by our great local sponsors.
The Insurance Agency, Bateman Funeral Home, Edward Jones Financial Advisor Chris Yost, Shepner's Water Conditioning, and McClure's Plumbing and Heating.
Your business was built right here, so was ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors, for neighbors. We know what matters to you because it matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They even have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
You ready? Watch out, It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps to the pros.
Cowgirls hunting them, and they're finding them. Stargell with another 3.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, and the Insurance Agency.
Let's go to work. Controlled by Stratton for North Dakota. Gave it away in between the circles. Here's a shot. Score! 1-0 Wisconsin on a snipe from Simon Tassi. Right between the rings, an absolute bullet, and a 1-0 Badger lead.
The 1-1. A little number back to the mound. Patel looks the runner back, throws to first. Williams coming home. He is out. He's out. Georgia Tech wins.
Denver into the slot, set up. Anderson fires. Score! It's over. Ken Anderson, the late game heroics. Denver back to the national championship.
Nearby, there's a ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Castro scores. Doyle will hold it second, and the Rockies take a 2-1 lead.
Good Friday morning, everybody. We are back and rolling here on the Morning Blitz. Hope everyone's having a good start to your day. Broadcasting, of course, on Rocket 102.5 KLOE, and BKSradio.net and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on this April the 10th. Hard to believe what we're a third of the way through the month of April already. Hard to imagine, but that is where we sit here right now on this April the 10th. Pretty nice morning out. I know Chris Schrammich saying going to be more cloud cover apparently coming up the rest of the day, but a beautiful start to the morning. We've got a little bit of sunshine out here outside the KLOE studios. Temperatures right around the mid-30s, no wind. So pretty nice morning out there right now. But the big stuff, hopefully, we'll see. It's getting to be that time where, we've talked about it for the last couple days about the chances of some precipitation. And, there was a 20% chance last night. Then of course, yesterday looking at it, I think there was a 50% chance today. There's no chance of precip today, according to the National Weather Service. 20% showers tonight. And then we're looking at maybe just a 40% chance Saturday and a 20% chance Sunday. All of a sudden, all of the rain chances have evaporated. They've gone away. And so we may not be getting any of the moisture that we were hoping and praying we would get this weekend. It's looking a little bit slimmer. Cooler day today, temperatures in the 50s, and then back up into the 70s and windy on Saturday. Temperatures in the lower 80s on Sunday. Temperatures going to stay around 80 on Monday, and then in the lower 70s coming up on Tuesday. But hate to be the bearer of bad news, but looks like those precipitation chances that were looking pretty good just yesterday morning, 24 hours ago, not looking so hot right now. We'll see as the day progresses on here on Friday and then pushes on into Saturday. I know they got some stuff over east. I know they got stuff over there further to the east in central and eastern Kansas, but nothing over here on the high plains. Today's program, plenty of things to get to. We will get you an update with the Masters, what happened on day one, what's going on early. I saw Wyndham Clark with a good start here on day number 2. I think he was 2 under through 3 early on. We'll get you an update on that a little bit later on in the show. We'll touch on what happened with the Royals and the Rockies. Late night last night for the Rockies. Really late. I mean, it went into extras and the Rockies come up on the wrong end of a walk-off. We will be talking baseball with our guest today. Colby Community College skipper Ryan Carter will join the program. His team coming off a split yesterday at Pratt. More on that in just a minute with more of their series to continue on Saturday. And then we will get you a quick local sports update here in just a little bit. F&B Bank text line 785-899-2222. I'm not going to lie. The F&B Bank text line is down right now. I am working on getting it back up. It's one of those deals where I didn't notice it until we started getting going. And so now I'm like, okay, now I have to find my passwords and stuff to get into it. And so I'm trying to like think off the top. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Yes, I did. I did write it down. Thank goodness. Hopefully it works. Maybe it's not one of those deals where we'll see if I can get this to work here. Make sure this is right, and then we'll give it a go. But of course it isn't going to work. That's supposed to be the password that I have written right there. Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, that's the password I have written down. We'll see. It could be a long morning. I'll see if we can get into that. But yeah, the text request line logged me out, and so I got to figure out what my password is there. So I guess if you have my personal cell number, which I know a majority of our listeners do, how I don't know. Some of you I do, but how some of you do, I don't. Nonetheless, you can hit me up there. But my discussion point of the first segment here for the coming up in just a little bit, because I'm going to get to some local sports real quickly here to kick off the show. But I was watching the Frozen 4 last night, which also went deep into the wee hours of the night, past almost 11 o'clock Mountain Time. That got over with. But yeah, that was what can I say? That was fascinating. It was great. Congratulations to the DU Pioneers, the Pios, on the way to the national championship game. Again, they'll take on Wisconsin. Yeah, thanks, Jared. I know I was up late too. Did you end up watching the end of the Rockies game too, Jared? Because I did see that. It was a super late night. But nonetheless, so my point was, he says yes. My point was, me too. The point was, watching the Frozen 4, and I thought about, this is really good. That this is really good hockey. It's really entertaining. And I wonder, and I kept thinking, this doesn't really get a lot of publicity and a lot of love. And so it got me thinking, what are some underrated sporting events? So what are some of the underrated sporting events that you don't think get enough love? That's kind of the question of the day that I was going to have. Hopefully a lot of people text in on the FB Bank text line at 785-899-2222. But unfortunately, it's a little bit down right now. Hopefully I'll get it going throughout the show. We'll see. But yeah, it was an exciting final Frozen 4. We'll get to that in just a minute. But what are some other underrated sporting events that don't get the kind of love that I think that they deserve? But we'll get to that here in just a matter of moments. Wanted to start off the show yesterday, kind of a sneaky good local sports day yesterday. Some good baseball, some softball, track and field as well. Wanted to get to this a little bit. We will talk more on this in depth coming up here in about 15 to 20 minutes. But Colby Community College baseball was at Pratt yesterday, and the Trojans, who have had a very tough season thus far, taking on a team who's had a worse season than them in Pratt. And the Trojans lost game 1 of that series to the Beavers in walk-off fashion. They had a chance to win it in the 9th, but could not keep a run from scoring, sent it to extras, and the Beavers walked off with a victory 5-4 in game 1. Colby came bouncing back. They scored 4 runs in the 4th inning, held on to win 6-5 in game number 2. So they split that series yesterday, that doubleheader. They'll have games 3 and 4 coming up on Saturday back in Colby. Colby Community College softball was at home. They hosted McCook. Actually, I don't know. They were against McCook Community College yesterday. They earned a split. They went 1-1. They got beat pretty bad in game 1, 12-3. Won game 2, 6-1. They returned to Jayhawk Conference play Saturday, going to Pratt. Fordyce Tech Northwest, a very busy weekend. They host Dodge today at the Tiger Sports Complex. Then they will head to McCook on Saturday. So they've got 4 games over the next 2 days. Goodland softball, they played yesterday. We had Coach Tess Smith in on the show, taking on Garden City. Excuse me. But they lost both of their games to Garden. Not that it was a humongous surprise. Give credit to the Cowgirls, though. They hung tough in that series. They lost game 1, 5-3. They were down 5-0 and were able to score 3 runs over the final 3 frames and make things look a little bit more interesting. Allie Cure did a great job in the circle again. Complete game, 11 hitter with 5 runs, all earned, 5 strikeouts. She was pretty good. The offense with only 5 hits, 2 of them coming from the previously mentioned Allie Cure. Had a RBI from Kaylee Glover and a 2 RBI day despite no hits for Hayden Short, as the Cowgirls lost a tight one there, 5-3. And then in game 2, the Buffaloes getting the victory 10-1. Goodland hit the ball a little bit better with a couple more hits, but not a lot of runs to show for it. And Caden Smith in the circle pitched well, 7 innings, gave up 10 runs, but only 5 of them were earned with 13 hits. And so, yeah, I thought the Cowgirls, despite taking a couple losses, played pretty good against Garden City yesterday. They're 2-4 on the season. They'll have another couple of tough games coming up Monday on the road at Hayes TMP, and we are planning on having coverage of that here on KLOE on Monday afternoon. So that's the plan for that. But Cowgirls get swept by Garden City. Colby High School baseball, probably with the exciting game of the day. The Eagle baseball team in Colby has been on a little bit of a tough run here. They had lost 4 in a row coming into yesterday's single 7-inning game against Burlington yesterday at Young Memorial Field. And the Eagles, going into the bottom of the 7th, were down 2 and were able to get 3 runs, 2 of them coming off a walk-off 2 RBI double from Braxton Withington. No surprise there. He's been fantastic all season on the bump and in the box. But Colby pulls out a late victory, 9-8 over Burlington, improving the Eagles down to 3-4, and probably more importantly, ending a 4-game slide there in their season. There was a little bit of track and field yesterday, and we'll give a shout-out once again to the Goodland Cowgirl track and field team. They won the Norton Invitational yesterday. They finished first. It was very tightly contested. The Cowgirls won by just a single point over Ellis, then edged Hill City by 4, who finished in 3rd. Colby girls finished in 5th. And on the boys' side, Colby finishing 3rd. Goodland came in 5th in the boys' standings. Goodland Cowgirls 4x100 team set the school record, ran it almost in about 50 point something. Very impressive from the Goodland Cowgirls track and field team. They've had a great start to this season, looking like they're going to be able to score some points and win some meets. They already won one with that one yesterday, but they're going to have a really, really good season. We'll have to have Coach Stout on and talk about his Cowgirl track and field team. They're off to a really good start here in 2026. Plenty more track and field today. You've got Tribune with an invitational. Hoxie has an invitational, which multiple area teams will be going to that. You've got Rollins County with an invite hosting an invite, but that's hosted in Oberlin. Once again, Rollins County's having their entire kind of track, and of course their schools getting rebuilt. So they're going to have a really nice facility when it's all said and done, but they're hosting an invite over in Oberlin. But that's what all the area schools will be attending in either one of those 3 events, either the Tribune Invitational, the Hoxie Invitational, or the Rollins County Invite. So there you go. A quick look at local sports from yesterday and what happened. Like I said, a very busy day, particularly on the diamond. So with that being said, I wanted to get into talking about underrated sporting events. So yesterday, once again, you're getting at this time of the year. We're past March Madness. We're past that time. Yes, the Masters are on this weekend, which is great, but it's a little bit of a slower sports time. I mean, it is. It's just a little bit of a slower time. And I was just like, so I was like flipping through the channels, and early on I was watching some SEC baseball, because I don't think there's any conference that does it better than the SEC when it comes to promoting their baseball and softball by ways of putting them on the television. They do an amazing job, and when they put them on the television, it is a top-notch production. It's like watching a College World Series game or something that that a lot of people would care about. So last night I was watching Oklahoma Vanderbilt for a while, which was entertaining, and then that kind of got over, and I kind of flipped over and I was watching some of the Frozen Four. I watched a little bit of Wisconsin pulling out a win over North Dakota to advance to their first national championship game. I think in 16 years, Wisconsin's going to be there. And then the following game was Michigan versus DU, Denver University. And that was a highly entertaining game where it was a back and forth affair, and DU pulling it out in double overtime on a one-time shot there by Kent Peterson. Kent Peterson sounds like a guy who should be doing your taxes. But Kent Peterson was the one who won it for the Pios last night, breaking the hearts of Michigan hockey again. They did it, I think, in 2022 or 2023. They won in overtime in the Frozen Four, ending the year for Michigan. So that was it's kind of feel a little bit bad for Michigan, but at the same time, kind of like, Michigan's they're doing fine. They have a national championship in football a couple of years ago. They just won the men's national championship in basketball. They're fine. It's all right. DU's had a lot of success with their hockey program, and but it was an exciting Frozen Four. I was watching it the whole way, and it got me thinking. I was watching as I get to the topic here. It got me thinking about what are the Frozen Four is very underrated. Playoff hockey is really, really good, and kind of I don't want to say it's underrated because I think it does get a lot of attention, but at the same time, I'm trying to talk about events I just don't think maybe get the publicity that they probably deserve for how entertaining they are. The Frozen Four is right up there. It's really good, especially if you get into overtime or late in a game and it's tied. The one shot's going to pretty much send a team on. The other team's season is going to end. I mean, I think that's where it's more exciting in this Frozen Four. It's one and done. It's not a best of 7 or a best of 5. It's one. You got to win this game or your season's done. So Frozen Four, I think, is up there as one of the more underrated sporting events out there that I don't think gets enough love. I was kind of going through some other things and doing some searching on things. It's getting more and more love. It's getting more and more love, but I think the Women's College World Series, as well as the Men's College World Series, I don't know if get enough love. It's very, very good softball and very, very good baseball, played at a high level in front of usually really good crowds, which results in really fun entertainment. And so those two events there are really good. Women's College World Series has really blown up maybe the last half a decade. It's gotten really big. Playing a great stadium at Devon Park there in Oklahoma City. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. Heard it's a lot of fun to go to. Been to the College World Series multiple times in my life, being from Nebraska and going to Omaha. It's a lot of fun. Both cities, Oklahoma City and Omaha, take great pride in hosting those events. It's underrated and a lot of fun to go to. If you've never had a chance to go, it's a blast to go to. I would recommend if you go to the Men's College World Series, at least if you can get an evening ticket. If you have no skin in the game, go to the evening games there. It's a little bit cooler and it's not as hot. The sun's not beating down on you at 95 degrees and 80% humidity, and it can be pretty brutal. But those are a lot of fun. One that I've really started to enjoy here the last handful of years, I didn't watch a whole lot of, but I think is entertaining, are anything really track and field, whether it's like the track and field national championships up in Eugene, Oregon, with just an incredible facility up there at Hayward Field, or, maybe it's the world qualifier, U.S. qualifiers or anything like that. I'd say underrated sporting event would be like that. And anything that's track and field championships is really good. It's a lot of fun to watch. I know sometimes like, we're watching someone throw a heavy rock, or watching someone throw a discus or the javelin, or, the running events to me are entertaining. Even the distance running is entertaining. Watching some of like the 1500s and things like that is fun to watch. When it comes to the National Track and Field Championships, I think are underrated sporting events. This one, I don't know if it's really underrated. I know it's one that I will always want to go to. But the Army-Navy football game I think is just great. I think it's the pageantry. It's so great, and it's about the only true form of college football left. Kids playing football for a cause bigger, or playing football for teams that have bigger causes than just a football game. It's great, and how much they want to beat each other. And like I said, the pageantry surrounding the game, it's really, really cool. All the pregame festivities, the postgame singings, all that stuff. I think I don't know if it gets enough. It gets love. It probably deserves more. But Army-Navy football game is really, really good. Some other ones I was kind of digging through and thinking about it. I've watched a little bit more of it here in the last couple of years when I've had time. But the NCAA wrestling championships, whether maybe it's Big Ten tournament wrestling championships, that's been entertaining. You get some of the best on best. The only negative to the NCAA wrestling championships here as of late, the last decade or so, is that Penn State wins every single year. I think they've won 12 in a row. That's not right. It might be 8 in a row. But nonetheless, they've won a lot in a row, has Penn State wrestling. And so it's kind of like, well, we know that Penn State's going to win. Who's going to come in second? That kind of thing. But it is fun to watch. And there's really, really good wrestling that happens in the NCAA wrestling championships for sure. And then I had another one here just on my list, and we'll get to a texter's thoughts as well. But one of the underrated sporting events that I've gotten a chance to go to in my time, and I thought it was really unique, was the WPGA. I got to go down one time. I was down in Phoenix, and I got to go to the WPGA. Actually, I got to go a couple of times, and it's a lot of fun. Because you watch the Masters, and don't get me wrong, I've never been to the Masters. I'm sure it's awesome. But you watch the Masters, and you just see the crowds of people, and there's tons of the patrons. There's tons of patrons out there watching. When you go to a women's tournament, there's not as many. The crowd is probably cut in half. There's still a decent crowd, but it's not as abundance of people. And so you get to walk the course pretty much with the players, and you could reach out and almost touch them, and there's not someone squishing you, to get next around the shot. It's just way more relaxed, way more chilled. You're kind of free to move around, the course like you are at any course, but you move around real easily. It's a lot of fun. I was impressed with a couple of times I've gotten to go to watch a couple PGA or WPGA events. And I think the biggest reason why I like it a little bit more than just the PGA, even though I bet I've never been to a PGA event, I think the reason why I would like it a little bit more is the fact that you get to be up a little bit closer on some things. So, and you kind of get to be, you can really kind of hear the players talking with the caddies. There's not a bunch of extra chatter. It's pretty peaceful. It's just a lot of fun. So I've always enjoyed that. So the WPGA, certainly a lot of fun. Let's see here. Listener Jared saving me, of course. Thanks, Jared, for hitting me up here. He goes, some of his favorite things: College World Series, College Lacrosse Championship. That would be, lacrosse is a fascinating sport, Jared. I will give you that. I do like that. 24 Hours Le Mans. I love, what is it? Ford versus Ferrari. I love that movie. I admit I haven't watched a ton of 24 Hours of Le Mans, but I can see how it can be very, very good. And he goes, World Junior Hockey Championships. Yeah, that's kind of like the Frozen Four a little bit. But yeah, anytime you get to playoff hockey, it is rather exciting. I appreciate those thoughts. Yeah, I think there's tons of things that are, underrated when it comes to sporting events. We're always, if you turn on ESPN, for example, now, there's not much going on, but what are they talking about? The NBA, and the NBA is fine, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea personally. So, but I there's lots of things I just don't think get enough attention, and there's some that gets maybe a little bit too much. But watching the Frozen Four last night was pretty cool, and congratulations to Denver. It's been I know Colorado sports fans sometimes feel like it's been a tough road, but honestly, it's been a pretty good year, hasn't it, Colorado sports fans, Denver sports fans? I mean, the Broncos with their great playoff push. You've got the Avalanche that have clinched the President's Cup. They're the top in the West. You have the Nuggets, who are streaking here towards the end of the regular season, winners of 10 in a row. Throw in, of course, the Pios getting to the national championship there. The Rockies, I know they lost last night, but they had won 4 in a row. I mean, and just and just kind of the real recency of it, it's pretty good time to be a Colorado sports fan. Things are looking pretty good. Yeah, Jericho's Colorado sports on fire. Yeah, they're playing pretty good. I'm excited for Saturday night. I would say Wisconsin and DU in the Frozen Four National Championship game. That's going to be great. I'm excited to watch that. That was really interesting to watch that last night. And like I said, just kind of some fun talking about underrated sporting events here on the Morning Blitz. All right, we got to get to a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined on the program by a good friend, Colby Community College baseball skipper Ryan Carter. Talk about the Trojans baseball season. Really got off to a rough start. Picked up a little bit of steam here a couple weeks ago and has kind of faded a little bit, but we'll get his thoughts on what's been happening on the diamond there for the Colby Community College Trojan baseball team next. You're listening to a Friday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Got your tax refund? Don't blow it. Upgrade it at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get into a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $7,000 in rebates or 2.9% for 48 months. Or into a 26 GMC Sierra 2500 $1,000 rebate or 4.9% for 48 months. And the 26 GMC Acadia 2.9% APR plus $750 in rebates with GM Financial. Your refund won't last, but a new GMC will. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland or visit hurlchev.com.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They even have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with Skyland Grain. Today is Friday, April 10th. Grains weaker on the overnights with May corn lower 1.5 at 443, July down 1.5 at 453.5, September down 1 1/4 at 457 3/4, beef corn down 1.5 at 472.5. May soybeans higher 6 1/4 on the overnights for 1170, July up 6.5 at 1186, August up 6 1/4 at 1180 3/4, September beans up 5 1/4 at 1157.5. Kansas City wheat, the May contract lower a cent at 589.5, July down 1 3/4 at 604, September down 1 3/4 at 618.5, December hard wheat down 2 cents at 637.5. Chicago wheat, the May contract lower 2 1/4 at 571 1/4, July down 3 1/4 at 580 3/4, September down 4 cents at 593, December soft wheat down 3.5 at 611 3/4. On the equities side of things, today, the Dow down $16 at 48,400. The S&P up 7 at 6,870. The Nasdaq up 50 at 25,302. Gold lower $25 an ounce at 4,792. Crude oil up 37 cents a barrel at $98 flat. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hanke or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. You can call our Kansas City office, Tyler Ghosh, Tom Slito, Jared Law at 913-748-3000, or our Ulysses office, Cindy Warner, Austin Wright, or myself, Kate Thompson at 602-356-7800.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading land, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley Equipment has 0% financing with approved credit on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop in today to any Foley Equipment location or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
At Thrasher Foundation Repair, we promise you an experience so remarkable, you'll want to leave us a 5-star review. From wet basements to bowing walls, sinking concrete to nasty crawl spaces, whatever your home's facing, you can count on Thrasher to fix it right. With over 34,000 5-star reviews and 50 years as a local family-owned company, Thrasher is a name homeowners trust. Schedule your free home inspection today at gothrasher.com. Thrasher.
The days are getting longer, the roads are calling, and it's a great time to upgrade your ride at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Right now, get 1.9% APR for 36 months on a 2026 GMC Terrain, the perfect SUV for wherever the road takes you. Need a truck? Take advantage of up to $7,000 in rebates on a 20.
Sale bill will come out right before the auction starts. Again, that is Friday, April 17th, the annual radio auction right here on this NWKS radio station.
It's the Morning Blitz.
We're having a great time, couple of laughs, everything's nice.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central.
All right, 7:36 Mountain, 8:36 Central here on this Friday morning. Glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz. Once again, during the break, I tried to get the FB Bank text line working. It's not. I'm sorry. I'll try and get that fixed for Monday. That'll be a big-time goal of mine today. Also, you heard the commercial there with Joel talking about our NWKS radio auction coming up a week from today. That's right. A week from today, there will be no show as we'll be on the air at this point in time, getting you great deals on items and services from around our listening area and beyond. Tons of great items you can find at nwksradio.net right now. If you go to that website page, you find our link to our little box link to the auction stuff. You can find pictures, information on all the items that are currently going to be in the auction this year. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I can't reiterate the point enough, but tell you, particularly if you are in farming, agriculture, cattle, you want to be listening. There are a lot of really good items that are going to be up for auction in this year's sale, more than we've had in the past. And if you're looking for great deals to help your growing season, to help this cattle season, man, you could find some really, really good deals at this year's radio auction. All right, let's welcome into the program our good friend from Colby Community College Baseball, Ryan Carter, joins us now. Good morning, Coach. How are we doing today?
We're doing great. Ross, what's shaking today?
Oh, it's a Friday, man. You know what? But it's a nice Friday. I don't know. There's, it's kind of an interesting time. You've got it's the kind of the heart of the college baseball season. MLB's kind of getting going. March Madness, we just got done off of that high. So you're kind of trying to find what's next on the docket. If you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what is weird is it's cold and windy. I just haven't experienced any of that this year.
Yeah. Oh, really? You haven't experienced any of that at all? Yeah, I don't. I'm telling you, it is certainly been I'd say at the same time, as it's been cold and windy, you've had a lot of time outside this year practicing, I'm sure.
We've been outside a lot, and I like to complain, but it's just part of the territory. It's just it's tough. We just played yesterday in Pratt. We had like a 25 to 35 blowing straight in, and it's just it's hard to it kind of changes the game a little bit on your approaches and the way you pitch and how you have to run the bases. And, and then you get the other way around where the wind's blowing out. And so you always have somebody that's happier than the next. Pitchers are happy when it blows in. Hitters are happy when it blows out. Coaches are never happy. So it's just, but at the end of the day, both teams got to play in it.
You're an Arizona guy, and it doesn't blow very much, in Arizona. It's usually pretty still. How much of that was an adjustment for you, learning how to coach and get your players to play in this type of conditions and weather?
Well, first of all, I've been in Kansas.
Yeah, I know you've been here for a long time now. That's true.
But where I grew up, was a little bit different. But where I played, I played in Prescott, and then I played in Southern California, where the saying in Southern California that the wind never blows and the sun's always out is true. It's you can get really spoiled being out there, but I think the big thing is that you just create a culture where it's just not an excuse. Like you just go outside and and do it. I think one of the mantras that we have with our team and with our family is like, so what, do it anyway. And that's just kind of what we do. And now the hard part is when we got that new indoor, we started getting dishpan hands, if that makes sense, kind of soft, and it looked a little crummy outside, and we would go inside and practice, and we have to force ourselves to get outside a little bit more just to keep ourselves acclimated to the conditions.
No, it makes perfect sense. You were talking about, you had to kind of change the way a little bit, how pitchers pitch, or maybe it's how a hitter attacks something when it comes to the weather. Can you go more into depth in that a little bit?
Well, yeah, obviously, like for yesterday at Pratt, I mean, we had a wind, a little cross, but I mean, it was blowing in. I'm telling you, like the right fielder was playing, 100 feet, 90 feet behind the second baseman. And, as a hitter that anything you get in the air, is probably going to be an out, right? So you got to kind of, your pitch selection, you have to try to hit it hard and flat, and doing that, sometimes you roll over and hit ground balls, but it's, it kind of changes your pitch selection a little bit of what you're looking to swing at. And I think that you get a little bit defeated in thinking that no matter what I do, I'm going to have a hard time getting the ball out of the infield, or I'm going to have a hard time getting it to drop in front of the outfield. And it's just, I think that there's a little bit of a mental roadblock up there, but at the end of the day, you just got to go out and do like you always do. Is we just tell our guys we're going to try to find the pitch that we can drive and hit it as flush as we can, and our goal is just to hit the ball hard. And we did a pretty good job of that yesterday, even though we split. We lost in extra innings in game one, and Pratt was pesky, and we just, being at home, I think when the weather is adverse, when you're at home, it's an advantage to the home team because, for us, tie game and extra innings, it feels like that extra run is a mile away. And I think we got a run in the 8th, and, in a 7-inning game, or maybe it was the 9th. I think we got that run, and I'm like, oh, we're going to cruise through this. And, we get a walk or hit by pitch, and then they steal a base, and then we get a wild pitch, and then it's, and then it's game over. But, no, it's, the mentality, is tough, but not to ramble on, but I think that as a hitter, if you can get your mentality not to change depending on the weather, I think it's an advantage to you.
Ryan Carter's our guest, Colby Community College baseball skipper, joining us here on the Hurl Chevrolet, on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline here this morning. Looking, when we talked to you earlier this year, and the season was just getting underway or just about to get underway, and since then you guys have gone 13-26. I know it's not probably the season that you've wanted to this point in time, but one thing that stood out to me about this year has been the amount of runs, whether it's been scored on or scored against. You guys have had a lot of crooked numbers and double numbers up there this year. What has caused the high scoring, in your opinion?
Well, it's been all across the league, and a lot of it has been we've played in a lot of games with a stiff wind blowing out, and and it's been for every team. I mean, I've seen more 20-plus run games in our conference this season. I mean, we are. It's not unheard of to have a 19-18 game or, all the way across the board. It's just been, that's number one. Number two, teams are more physical. It is, the talent is, the game is different now than it was 3 years ago. I think this team we have right now 3 years ago is a top 4 team in the conference. And, it's, we still got a chance, we go on a little run. I think we got a chance to finish 5th, but, it's the talent is up and down better, and then this has just been a year where it seems like across the board we've had the wind blowing out, and so it's a rough year to be a pitcher in the Jayhawk.
And people always say, this game is baseball and softball, of course, very mental games, and when you got pitchers on the mound that are unfortunately giving up these kind of crooked numbers, I mean, how tough is it to keep these guys locked in and positive?
Well, it is. I think one of the thing that benefits us is that the culture that we've created over the years, we don't, I guess, identify, or we don't judge ourselves based on an outcome or on a stat, even though, right, we're smart enough to know that when you look at that number, it's a pretty good check to your ego. But I think there's a big difference between ego and pride, and we try to play for pride and not play for ego. And if we can get that out of the way, then we can understand that the team, that what the team needs is maybe the team needs you to only give up 16 runs because we're going to score 18, and to understand that have a little bit of pride in your job. But no, it's, make no mistake, it's tough. I mean, we've got never in my life have I seen, we've got a kid that's 92 to 96, and he gets done with a 3-inning outing and gives up 8 runs. And I asked him, I said, did you think it was going to be this hard when you came from high school to college? And he said, well, there's no chance I thought it was going to be this hard. I mean, it's I always tell guys that if you can navigate and learn how to pitch in the Jayhawk, then you can get outs anywhere.
We've been talking about this season and how at times you're putting up a lot of crooked numbers, and you haven't had a ton of success, at least at this point in time. But guys, you still seem to be pretty positive about the whole thing, I guess. And I guess that's what you have to be when you kind of get in these type of situations this year. You can't control the weather. You can't control some things going your way, but you just got to continue to push on through.
You got to. And I've been around long enough now to have a little bit different mindset of knowing that, our goal is to prepare these young men for the next level, whether it's baseball or the next phase in their life. And, we have to have a battle with our ego every day, and to know that, our goal is to prepare these guys, and in the process try to win some baseball games. And we've been in a lot of games, and I know our record's definitely not what I thought it was going to be at this point in time, but stuff like that doesn't define you. Your next action is what defines you, and the next thing you do is what defines you. So we just are really looking, really focused on looking through the windshield and not the rearview mirror every day.
Ryan Crowder, our guest here on the Hoover Lumber Starter Hotline. You were talking a little bit ago about the level of player or the other teams in the league and how good they have been. What do you think has caused this jump in talent throughout the level of the league? And how do you go about adjusting to that in the years to come?
Oh, the second part's a really good question. The first part, I think, is pretty simple. I think since the NIL came in, you're getting better players are staying at the Division I level. Division I baseball has a roster cap. So that talent is just trickling down. The MLB draft is smaller. They're cutting teams in the minor leagues. So, I mean, it's just a reciprocal effect. And, it started with COVID, where you started getting, 24, 25, 26-year-old people playing, and that happened at the NAIA and Division II level. So that affected, these young men from junior college that were going there. And then, like I said, from the Division I level down, with less spots available, and more guys are opting to stay and play and making some money playing baseball in college. I think it just trickles down, and you're looking at some really talented junior college teams throughout the country. And we got, 3 or 4 in this conference alone that have really stood out. And so I think that that's really what it is. And I think how you compete is you got to find your margin somewhere. So it's like Moneyball. You got to find right. You got to find your talent and your bangers in the right in the margins. You got to find people that nobody else wants or values, and you got to try to develop them and turn them into players that can handle this conference.
Going back to talking about this year, kind of looking at the statistics from this season, you've had a very balanced attack. It's not like you've had anybody come and just have an absolute, just amazing, standout, unbelievable season, but a lot of guys, being able to contribute. I'm seeing multiple guys with 25 plus RBI, so far this year. It's been a very balanced attack.
It has been, and I think that it's a lot funner team to coach. I mean, last year we had the Player of the Year in Padilla, and that guy hit like 450 or whatever, and then Turner Zadunik had a really good year last year, where he was like 425 or whatever he was, and then it dropped off. But when you can have up and down the lineup guys that can hit a little bit, even if you don't have that one big standout, right? Obviously, it makes you a little better team. I think that we are a better offensive team this year than we were last year. It's just the fact that, and it's hard to compare because, different teams, different weather. We had a really tough, opening to our season. I mean, playing, Hutch, Cloud, Butler, Barton to start, like those, are statistically the best 4 teams in the conference. Cloud is as talented as any team in the country. Hutch is as offensive as any team in the country. And thank goodness we don't have to play Johnson this year. But it's nice to have, that kind of parity up and down your lineup.
Well, the season is coming, the regular season is coming to an end here rather quickly. I mean, we're less than a month away from this season being over, at least the regular season. What are a couple things you're hoping to see here through these last few series to hopefully get your guys in a good position to do something in the postseason?
Well, I think we're still the guys that we want to warm up at the plate are starting to hit a little bit better. Turner has kind of been struggling a little bit, and he's kind of made a little adjustment. He's feeling himself a lot better right now. I think it just comes down to the health of our pitching staff. I do think that we're trending in the right direction. Roy McDonald has had 2 outstanding starts. He won a 4-3 complete game at Seward, and I think he went 6 innings and gave up 3 yesterday in the first game. And, so we've got that, and it's just a matter of, if those guys can stay healthy, I think we're starting to trend in the right direction. So, I mean, if we can get 2 or 3 pitchers to start feeling pretty confident and hot, then, who knows what we could do in the playoffs, because we got the ability. I mean, our guys have been through the fire offensively. They faced the best that this conference has to offer, and I think that, we've stood toe-to-toe offensively with anybody. Now we just have to figure out we have to throw a few more zeros. It seems like we have a hard time, and everybody has, but we have a hard time throwing up a 0 in a game. So that's kind of what our goal is to see how many zeros we can get, in a 7 or 9 inning game. So I guess that's our goal moving forward, is if we can get a few guys to start feeling good and get a little confident, I think that gives us our best chance of making a run.
Colby Community College skipper Ryan Carter. Coach, it's always great to have you on, my friend. We'll do it again soon. Good luck with the upcoming series, all right?
You got it, Ross. Appreciate you.
Once again, great stuff there from Coach Carter. The Trojans, once again, hasn't probably been the season that they were hoping for, at least initially. Was sitting at 13-26 as we sit here today. Hopefully a chance to pick up a couple wins against last place Pratt at home on Saturday, and then hopefully get some steam. Like he said, he did bring up a good point, though. They did play some really tough competition right out of the gates of conference play. They've got Dodge City, who's towards the bottom, coming up here towards the end of this season. They've got a series against Garden, which is kind of in the same level as them. They got a tough one against KCK mixed in there too. But maybe they'll pick up some steam here down the stretch after playing a lot of the hard teams early on. Let's get to our break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with some Rockies and Royals and the Masters update as well to wrap up a show on a Friday and a week here on the Morning Blitz.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
Got your tax refund? Don't blow it. Upgrade it at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get into a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $7,000 in rebates or 2.9% for 48 months. Or into a 26 GMC Sierra 2500 $1,000 rebate or 4.9% for 48 months. And the 26 GMC Acadia 2.9% APR plus $750 in rebates with GM Financial. Your refund won't last, but a new GMC will. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland or visit hurlchev.com.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
All right, wrapping up a show here on this Friday and for the week. Thanks to Ryan Carter. Thanks to you for tuning in. Once again, my apologies for not having the EpiBank text line up and rolling. I need it. I have to have it, especially when I'm by myself. It's great to have conversation with some other people. Let's wrap up the show here quickly. We'll get to a Masters update in a second. I did want to get to baseball from yesterday. Rockies stayed up late to watch that. That was a late one. Rockies lost on a walk-off grand slam by Xander Bogaerts in the 12th. The Rockies had a 2-1 lead in the 10th. I think it was Tyler Freeman who poked one out there in the outfield, drove in the leading run, but Padres tied it up in the bottom of the 12th, and then, in that bottom of that inning, and then get to the 12th inning, and bases get loaded, trying to kind of get people in, but they had one out, bases get loaded. You're trying to kind of get a spot for a double play, and grand slam by Xander Bogaerts, a walk-off 7-3 win for the Padres last night. So that snapped a 4-game win streak for Colorado. They got game 2 of that series tonight out there in San Diego. Royals shut out yesterday by the White Sox 2-0. Seth Lugo was good, 2 runs over 6 innings, but the offense struggled, leaving just 2 guys on base. I found a couple fascinating stats about the Royals yesterday. Over the last 240 games, the Royals are 121-119. Just been about a 500 team for the last 240 games. And before last night, the last time the White Sox had won at Kauffman Stadium was September 6th of 2023. The starting pitching for the Royals that day was Jordan Lyles. So it'd been a while since the White Sox had won in Kansas City, but they get it done last night. Game 2 of that series tonight, 6:40 Central Time on AM 790 KXXX. And Masters update real quickly here. Of course, Rory and Sam Burns, Rory McIlroy and Sam Burns tied at the top after both 5 under 67s yesterday. I mentioned Wyndham Clark with a good start today. He's 3 under through now 7, putting him currently tied for 3rd place, which there's a log jam there. Patrick Reed, Jason Day, Kurt Kitayama are all there. Multiple guys at 2 under par, including Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Shane Lowry in there as well. Gary Woodland looked good. Initially, he was 3 under par for a little bit. Gary dropped down to 1 under par. Him and Tommy Fleetwood are there. Jordan Spieth and Brooks Koepka around even. Justin Thomas there. But guys like Bryson DeChambeau, Bubba Watson, some other guys have not had good tournaments thus far. They're battling, and they are right now below the projected cut line at this point in time. But we'll see what day 2 holds there at the Masters from Augusta. And I think we have another quick edition. We'll squeeze in it. We'll squeeze in it real quick. We have another quick edition of Dear Ross. So, Dear Ross, the DU Pioneers beat Michigan in double overtime last night to advance to the Frozen Four championship tomorrow in Wisconsin. Who do you got winning the game? DU going for championship number 11. I don't know if anybody's ever been to a DU hockey game, but it's a lot of fun. I would recommend going to one if you have not. It's a blast. I don't know how you don't go against DU. They are a powerhouse. Wisconsin, though, back in the championship for the first time in 16 years. Maybe it's a team of destiny for them. Not for sure. I'm just going to go with the team that usually wins. They're kind of like the Alabama of college hockey. I'll go with DU with championship number 12. Their coach, Carl, he's a young guy, but an intense guy, and I think he'll have his team ready to go. Although I do think one thing to pay attention to in this game on Saturday, the exhaustion of DU compared to Wisconsin. Wisconsin got their game done in regulation, and this game went into double overtime for DU. A lot of energy exerted there. I don't know. We'll see. That might be advantage to Wisconsin. We'll see. And then on top of that, Colorado Avalanche won the President's Cup last night. Do you see them raising Lord Stanley's Cup come June? I read a stat somewhere like whenever the Avalanche win the President's Cup or win the Western Conference, something along those lines, they usually don't have good postseasons. So I guess I'm going to roll with that. I don't know enough about the rest of the NHL at this point in time. I will watch the playoffs, but I don't know enough about the rest of the NHL to know on that stuff. So my apologies. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on with New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Once again, a little bit of a local sports day. Should be, I don't know. I'd say they're talking about it's supposed to be cool and cloudy today, but the sun continues to stick out, and I think it might be an okay day. Track and field today, Tribune Invitational, Hoxie Invitational, Rollins County Invite, and Oberlin. All that going on. Good luck to the track and field athletes around the listening area in their competition. Colby High School softball also coming off their first 2 losses of the season. They have a doubleheader today down at Garden City. I forgot to mention that earlier in our conversations. That'll do it for the program today. Thanks to Ryan Carter. As always, thanks to you for tuning on in. We'll catch you back here on Monday for another edition of the Morning Blitz. See you then.
Rocket 102.5.